10:30 this evening. The first section, the right side and broadcasters will get 3 questions each. Second section, because of numbers, reporters will get 2 questions each. We'll work through everyone in the room, and if there's any time and questions remaining, we'll cycle back through the list. Please use the raise hand feature if you have a question to ask in the appropriate section. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
We'll start with Rob at Sky Sports.
Hi, Ralph. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, I had here such a, I don't know, what was it? A feather? Yeah,
a feather.
A feather in my hair.
That's good luck.
That's good luck.
Yeah,
oh my God. So
that's got to be good luck, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We need this,
Listen, I need to ask you first about the biggest story that in the Premier League for the last couple of weeks now, and that's Newcastle, who've been taken over by a very rich company with connections to Saudi Arabia, but the Public Investment Fund rather than the government itself. Look, what do you make of that takeover? Do you have any issue with it? Do you have any concerns on an ethical basis?
Personally, not really. I mean, I'm not the guy who decides if it's allowed to bring these people in the Premier League. In general, investment in the Premier League is a good thing for the Premier League, to be honest. From which side it is, it's not on me to say if it's right or not. I think it's a big chance for a club, because when you want to transform a club in the Premier League, when you want to change the team, when you want to bring new players in, you need a lot of money when you have a Premier League club. And I think Newcastle is a team that in the past haven't invested so much, I think. So they are all crying for more investment. Yeah, and if they have their owner now, or if it is going through, then they have definitely some more options, yes.
How do you think it changes the dynamic towards the bottom part of the Premier League? Newcastle will potentially have huge money to spend now. Does that give them a huge advantage? And you know, how does it change the dynamic in your eyes?
In the moment, the window is closed, so it's not possible until the winter break to invest. But in the future, it will definitely change the opportunities you have as a club, and that means that they then can, in the next transfer window, strengthen their team, and this can definitely have an impact on their season. Yes, that's for sure.
Talk to me about the start of the season for you, Ralph, because you've played some big clubs in the start of your season, and it's been a strange one. You've done very well against those. You've drawn with Manchester United and Manchester City. You've got a good point against West Ham, and yet you get to win in the Premier League. How do you assess all of that? It must be a strange way to sum it all up.
Yes, it's not so difficult to sum it up. I mean, there were a few chances of winning a game. Even against Man City, we had the chance to win, and that shows that you have done a few things right. Otherwise, there wouldn't be the other chances. Also against Chelsea in the last game, until the red card was coming, we have been very good in the game against one of the best teams in the league. And a lot of things are working quite well in our game, I think. But there is also not to deny that our goal scoring is not on the average level, or not on a level we need to be for getting wins. And this is the issue we have. It's not such a surprise situation. We lost our best goal scorer in the summer. The guys who are coming in have all potential. We trust them fully. It would be helpful if everybody does the same, and then give them the time to step up, give them the time to adapt to the Premier League, and then they will score for us. This is for sure. I will do this. I will work with them every day to make them better. And finally, these are the players. They must help us to win games in the way that they score.
The last one from me. Martin Semmens, your chief executive, has been talking to some fans groups, I think, during the international break, and he says, look, the pressure that you're under is there for every Premier League manager, and there's always pressure because you take the weight of responsibility on your shoulders for results. But he also says he thinks the next 5 games or so will be critical to your season when you're playing the teams around you. And Alex McCarthy, I think, has said similar this week as well. Is that how you feel it? Do you feel that you know what happens over the next 5 games or so will give a true reflection of where Southampton are at?
Yeah, I always speak about that it is important to take points consistently, but this is not only for us, it's also for Leeds, for Burnley, for Watford, all the teams that are coming up now. They also all need wins, points. Every weekend in the Premier League to take a win, you have to have a fantastic performance, and this is the goal. Concentrate more on your performance, on the ways, on the things you can develop. Then use energy or lose energy for things. What happens if, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's the most important thing to work during the week as good as possible with the team that gives me the chance to bring my match plan on the pitch. In the international break, it's a little bit more difficult because a few players are gone, and then it's not so easy to prepare. But it's the same for our opponent. There are also some players coming back very late. This is the issue you have as a Premier League manager. In general, you have in the national break a lot of players that are going away because they're also good that they play in their international teams, and then you miss them. But even then, I think the few days we have now, from today and tomorrow to Saturday, this is the key time to prepare for this important game.
Thank you, Ralph. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Paul at Premier League.
Thank you very much. Hi, Ralph.
Hello.
Have you got some injury updates you could give us?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Stevens is still out. We have Shea Adams returned back from the international with a muscle injury. Not too serious, but for this game on the weekend, he's definitely out. And yeah, the rest is not. I've not seen everybody back so far, but the reports have been quite positive for the rest that they are all well.
Stuart Armstrong was back in the squad last time out. How much have you missed the extra sort of dimension that he gives the team and the squad?
Yeah, I mean, he's now very long out, or he was very long not available, and need to come back now, need to step up. And yes, for me, sure, important player. He was last season one of our best 10s we had on the pitch. Sometimes also played on the 6, and finally scored a few important goals for us also. Yes, definitely a player that is important for our game, and I'm happy when he now starts to work with us consistently. It was a pity that he was immediately going to international team, so he couldn't work with us the last 2 weeks. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we have now more options on the 10. This is also good for me, and hopefully we find the right balance for the game on the Saturday.
And with the captain out, it looks like Ibrahima Diallo is likely to get a chance. It'll be a year this weekend since he made his Premier League debut. Can you tell us how much he has changed and developed over that time?
Yeah, it was always tough for him because with Ori and Prowse, we had two players. When they are fit, quite settled in the first 11. So for him, it was hard to step in. But I must say, he showed in a lot of games how much quality he has. And yes, still in some moments he has to be a little bit more clinical, a little bit more serious, I think. And then his first two up front can be a better one. Things still to improve for his game, but the total baggage, especially from his physical options, absolutely convinced that he's a Premier League player on a good level, and now he has the chance to show it, and hopefully he does.
Has he given you enough of a headache over the past few months? Have you been scratching your head, wondering how you could fit all three of them in, or tempted to put him in?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a few chances also to play in the cup. He did quite a good job. He scored a goal against Sheffield, so he is definitely a player that can show more. And I think he must grab now the chance for the next 3 games with both hands. And then, let's have a look what he delivers.
Good stuff. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Adam Blackmore at Radio Solent.
Ralph, good morning to you. Welcome back to the Premier League. Can I start with Leeds? It's the 3rd time you're going to play them in 9 months. What have you learned about playing Leeds that you take into the game this weekend?
I think nothing what you don't know. So it's maybe one of the most intense games in the season. The average of passes the opponents play against them is the lowest of the whole league. I think when we speak about pressing in our shape, they are even more aggressive and do it all 90 minutes around. So it will be not always nice to watch, I think, with a lot of mistakes in the game because of the pressure both teams put on the other side. So who expect a 5-star dinner, I think he will not see it. So it was more about winning duels, winning second balls, coming out of the pressure as quick as possible, use the space that you get for a short moment quite proper. And that means that there will be a lot of bad passes also included, I'm sure. And finally, this is the way they play, and we have to find the right answer. We have to be prepared for everything they offer us, and then go in the duels, go in the fight, because it will be an intense one.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with the odd Big Mac, Ralph, along with the 5-star dinners. We can have the odd takeaway. It's okay. As long as it's a winning one, eh? So, look, on that, though, you have done well this season against the bigger teams because they have given you opportunities in space because they've attacked. And, look at the Wolves game as an example. Very difficult when a team comes to St. Mary's and sits in low behind the ball. So, is that a positive that Leeds will play how they will play? They will come at you in numbers. They will counter with numbers. Does that actually suit your team that you're developing maybe more than somebody just coming to defend?
Yeah, but they're also a team that have always a very good rest defense, a lot of players behind the ball, never really exposed. So it's also there. It's quite hard to have a serious counter-attack. There are some options. The team that scores the first goal is definitely in a very good situation because it gets then more space for counterattacks. This is what both teams like to have. So it's important that we have a good start also, and also important that our supporters know what is coming up and give us the support. That means we want to be nasty on the pitch. They can be putting pressure on the opponent that it is not so nice to come to St. Mary's and take points. And this is what we need to have, a very committed performance from us, from our side, from the fan side, from everybody.
It's interesting about, you were asked about pressure earlier, just touched on it. You're next to each other in the table, you and Leeds, but the perception of both clubs' starts of the season is now different because they picked up a win finally in their 7th game and you haven't. So the pressure you're under compared to the pressure Bielsa's under, to the outsider, seems a lot different. Does it feel a lot different? Do you feel under pressure because you haven't won a game yet? They're only 2 points ahead of you and they have won a game.
Yeah, this is the problem when you have 4 draws. It doesn't really help you. It doesn't really give you a step forward. I think there was always a chance even to win against Man United and City. We were close winning, but I'm more concentrated on things that are missing in my game than on discussions around it, to be honest, because it doesn't help nobody. We should be definitely using all the energies of finding solutions for our issues on the pitch. And this is my job. This is what I have to do here, and this is what I get paid for. And you can be sure that there are not a lot of moments on the day where I don't think about it.
Ralph, looking forward to the game. Thank you for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the section embargoed for 10:30 this evening. We'll start with Halfway House at the Echo. Alfie, when you're ready.
Hi, Ralph, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
I'm sorry about that wait there. I just wanted to ask a little bit about, you mentioned you've got a lot of choice in your 10s this year. Someone who played every game between the last 2 international breaks and you stuck with, you relied on, was Nathan Redmond. He's obviously got the versatility to play as a forward as well. What qualities is it about Nathan that you see that make him so important to you?
I think with Reddy, it's always good to see that the quality on the ball is definitely there. He has a definitely some threats where you can also see that the opponent goes on the back foot, because when he comes with the ball 1 against 1, he is good. What we're all missing is his finish, is his goal scoring part. I think he knows this, and finally, he played a lot of games so far and didn't score, I think, so far, and this is what we are missing. And I think this is what we need, especially in the up front. He played as a striker, he played as a 10. I need from all his positions more goal threat, and it will help us massively. Yes.
Absolutely. And from one Nathan to another, obviously Teller made his first Premier League start of the season at Stamford Bridge. How did you assess his performance and his sort of reaction over the last couple of weeks? Has it given him a bit of a bounce to get into the team?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a young lad who, especially with his speed and with his effort, is always a threat for the opponent. Still needs to be more precise in his actions, and I think to be honest, his development is good. He's still a very young lad, and we have to be patient with his development. We have to be patient with giving him the chances in the right moments in the games. I think Chelsea was a good opportunity for him, and I think he didn't do a bad job. But Premier League is quite tough for a young lad, and I think he will take the opportunities he gets, and I'm sure he gets in the next weeks a lot of chances to play.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, and good luck this weekend, Ralph.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Tom Barkley.
Ralph,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. You mentioned Che Adams is going to miss the game, and you've talked at length this season about your goal scoring issues. I just wondered, Armando Broja, is it time for him after he scored against Hungary in the international break, which obviously a team that England struggled to break down? Is this a chance now that he can grab with both hands?
Yeah, I mean, Armando showed that he has, as a sub, he has a very good impact in the game against Newcastle. He did a good job. From the beginning against Sheffield, he didn't play quite well. Also now for Albania, he was always coming from the bench. I think he's a very good sub. Immediately there with his quality. I don't know if he's immediately ready for 90 minutes from the beginning, but is a player definitely who has to work hard for getting his performance for 90 minutes on the pitch, and this is what he needs to learn as a young lad. And we see some qualities, definitely some weapons that you need to have as a striker. He's super quick on the first 10 meters, has a very good finish, and jumps very high. So normally a very good package for a striker like we don't have. And for me, when he's working hard, the goals should come automatically. And this is the key part, I think, in his game, to work hard, to fight for every situation you have. And then he deserves to play.
Just to take you back to Newcastle, does their takeover essentially eliminate them from the relegation battle?
I don't know if it's so easy. In the moment, they are in our area, and until winter, there will not be a different team on the pitch. I still see a lot of quality in this team. It's not about me to speak about Newcastle. It's better for us to concentrate on ourselves. All the rumors there around there, another club now maybe with big money for the Premier League. It's not a coincidence, not a surprise for me that the Premier League is getting stronger every season. I feel it since I'm here, that the league was getting stronger every year. Yeah? And when you're a team like us that more giving the best players away for a lot of money and start again, you can see it and you can feel it every year that it's getting more difficult every year to compete with these teams, because they all have the opportunities to buy players for a lot of money. And when there's now another big one coming, then it just doesn't get easier. This is for sure. But for the Premier League, it's fantastic, because it is another big impact money-wise for the Premier League, and that does mean that quality is rising.
I could just one more question just about Leeds. The classic cliche is that teams can go through second season syndrome. I don't know whether that exists or not, or whether it's just a theory. Is that what you're seeing from Leeds at the moment?
I know. I must say that they had a few injuries. Their best striker, Bamford, was out, and like every team, when you lose special players in some moments, then they are also struggling of scoring goals. And this was the difference to the last season, I think, where they scored relatively easy. I remember our 2 games, very long, a level game, and then they scored it first, and then they won the game. So this quality they have been missing. I think a few other injury players were there, and then it's tough to keep the level high. But yeah, same issue like other teams also.
Cheers, Ralph.
Okay, Tom Leach.
Hi, Ralph. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Okay.
Can I just ask about Raymond Perrault? How has he performed during the international break? I spoke to him earlier this season, and he said that he'd have to fight for his place at left back. Now, at the time, I don't think Thierry had signed at that point. I remember thinking, who is he going to be fighting with? But Kyle's emerged on that side. Looks quite good. Do you feel that Roman's done anything over these last 2 weeks to convince you that he's ready to get back in?
I like this player, to be honest. It's quite tough now because we have this season more options on the fullback positions like last season. But very happy to have him here. It definitely gets a lot of games in the future for sure. And we have the option with Kyle on the left side also, who is doing a good job there. Different players now, left foot, right foot, but I'm happy to have him here, and I'm sure that he will make a lot of games this season for us.
I was going to ask about that because I think Kyle's done well down the left, but is there any benefit to having a left footer on that side when it comes to creating chances, or does Kyle offer something a little bit different because he can spin inside on that right foot?
Yeah, I think it sometimes depends what we need, and when you need more quality on the ball or dribbling inside on the right foot, then it's Kyle maybe a little bit better than Romain. When you need the speed up and down the line and the left foot delivery, then it's perfect for Romain. And I think it's important to see what we need in what game. And finally, this is then for me to find the right decision, who is the right person in the game.
Okay, if I can just ask one more quickly. You've got no James Ward-Prowse on Saturday. So if you win a penalty, someone's going to have to step up. Have you put any thought all into who that's going to be? Oriol Romeu was quite good against Sheffield United, I remember.
No, because all the set pieces are the jobs for Dave Watson. And that's the reason why he has to think about it.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Alex Crook.
Morning, Ralph. Just to go back to the start of the presser, and you were asked about Martin Semon's comments. One of the other things that he said, he was asked if there's pressure on you, and he said that you always feel the pressure, you take the responsibility, you pick the team, etc. How do you escape that pressure? I mean, particularly during an international break when you've had 2 weeks to sort of lick your wounds after Chelsea. How do you switch off from football? Is it impossible? Because I know how committed you are.
Yeah, you should be able to do it from time to time. Otherwise, you get mad. But when we have time off on the weekend, then we are. This time we were going home to Austria in the mountains, and definitely good time to relax, to get some energy. But about the pressure, I mean, if you start doing this job, and I don't do it since 1 year, I do it now for a long time, then you know that the wind on the top of the mountain is the strongest one, and you have to stand there and you have to find the decisions and you have to stay there, and you know this. Otherwise, if you don't know it, and then you cannot do this job. And when you know it, then you have to do it in the way you did it all the time, all the past years, and we have a fantastic job, a beautiful job to do. The Premier League managers, it's an interesting job every day. It's always different. And finally, to release the pressure, you need wins. We haven't get one so far, but I think the performance that my team has shown was much better than the results in some games. So we need a few bits in our game to make it better, and then finally the wins will come, I'm sure.
And what does it mean to you personally when someone like Martin, your boss, effectively comes out and says that he is still behind you? Does that give you confidence?
To be honest, he doesn't need to say this in the public, because I feel it every day. So it's what the time we went through together. There were definitely more difficult situations than this one now, to be honest. And we always find a way to find the success, back to the success. And we know relatively clear what it is about to play with Southampton in the Premier League. We see it relatively clear what is it about to be successful with this club in the Premier League, how it is possible. And we also know about the limits we have compared to the other teams, but we don't want to make us smaller than we are. We want to be brave like we have been in all the games so far this season. And yes, there have been missing a few goals. Otherwise, we would have taken more wins. But we are still trusting in everybody who is working here, who is playing here. And finally, the wins will come, I'm sure.
And just the last quick one then, you mentioned there that you know Southampton's resources. Do you in any way feel envious when you look at Newcastle and the manager there and the money that will come to whoever is in charge when the transfer window reopens?
It's not. We have a game on the weekend, a tough game. I think it's better to look what we have to do, not what Newcastle has to do. It's not definitely not my. It doesn't take my attention so far this week to speak about them, and we're more concentrating on what we have to do, because when we take the points we need to do, then it's not important what they do.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ralph. Good luck.